Pisces, what's going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan Hill from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Pisces love reading. Today we're going to take a look at the status of the love connection between you and your romantic person of interest. Keep in mind this is a timeless reading, so whether this is talking to you about something that you're currently going through or something from your recent past, just know you clicked on this video now because you're supposed to watch it now. So let's get started. Let's get one card for what's the mutual point of interest. Easy. What's going on with you, Pisces? It's been a minute. What's going on with Pisces as it relates to their person of interest and the connection between them? Okay, we got those came out in this order. Let's see, what is going on with your person, Pisces? What's going on with Pisces' romantic person of interest? Okay, this is not letting me finish my sentences. That's interesting. I got an extra card for your person. That's not uncommon. Usually that happens as the final card, and it happened for your person's central energy this time. So I'll read those two together. On the bottom of the deck, the overall energy of this reading is the Emperor. This is the Aries Major Arcana card. This is an energy of control. This is about taking control, taking charge of a situation. This is someone who is running the show, calling the shots. This is a person who puts together the plan to get what they want, and then they execute the plan to get what they want. This is about being in power, being in charge. Very rarely is this describing the person that I'm reading for. In most cases, it's describing the other person or some external person that's actually in control, that actually is exercising the power here. This can be the person who calls the shots, sets the boundaries, decides how things are actually going to go. This can also be a call to you to step into your power. Below the surface of this Emperor energy, we have the Two of Cups. This is Cancer energy. This is a love connection between two people, an emotional connection. It is also a 2, and in tarot, 2s represent choices. So this is some sort of a choice or a decision about this connection, or even a choice between more than one cup of love here. But we look like somebody is actually in control of the choice about this connection. Below the surface of that, we have the King of Swords. This is Aquarius energy. This is the very smart, logical, rational, like cerebral thinking type of a decision maker here. This is a person who, when they make their decisions, they're very emotionally detached. They usually throw their emotions out the window. They're not concerned with how anyone feels about things when they make decisions. This is much more about looking at the truth and the facts and what can I see right here in front of me? What can I verify with my own eyes? What do I know? And I'm going to decide based on that and not feelings. So that's the gist of what it looks like this is going to talk to me about. It looks like somebody might be being a little emotionally distant, a little cold and calculated here, maybe trying to control this connection the two of you are in. We might come back to that more as we go along. This mutual point of interest is shared energy that affects both of you in some way. It doesn't always affect you both the same way. Sometimes they do this and you feel the consequences, or vice versa. Sometimes they'll say or do something and it makes you kind of step into this energy, or vice versa. But we got the King of Wands. This is Leo energy. It's the second king I've seen now. So we might have a person here that's got more than one side to them. This is a bold, passionate, fiery, determined person who knows exactly what they want. They typically don't take no for an answer. This is very driven, motivated, ambitious kind of an energy. This is the kind of person who's not going to let some minor obstacle or roadblock stop them. This is more like, I'm going to find a way to get what I want, or I'm going to make a way to get what I want. Two really similar energies in that sense here, with the Emperor being the overall energy. Let's take a look at this a little deeper here. Tell me more about the King of Wands. Why is this the shared energy between Pisces and their person of interest? Okay, come here. What do we got? We got some flipped right side up in the deck here, making me dig for them. Well, was hoping it wasn't going to go this way, but it looks like it might be. Below the surface of this King of Wands energy, 5 of Pentacles. This is Taurus energy. 5s are conflict or change. This represents abandonment, being cast aside, being left out in the cold, discarded, walked away from. This is a breakup kind of an energy here. And below the surface of this breakup energy, I have the Ace of Pentacles. This is a new, physical opportunity presenting itself. This is not some idea or a concept. This is a physical thing that I can touch. Sometimes new physical opportunity can represent a new way to make money. Sometimes physical opportunity can represent exactly what that sounds like, a physical opportunity to go do something. I do have a choice here, either about this connection or about another connection, and it's not looking so great in here. When I clarify this King of Wands, I get the Seven of Wands, the Queen of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, and that Two of Cups again from the other deck now. Seven of Wands is Leo energy. This is a defensive energy. This is defending my position, defending my stance on something, and being willing to fight to protect something that's important to me, fight to protect something I believe in, fight to protect something that I want really bad, maybe even fight for this connection. This can just represent defensiveness, as in like I'm asking you some questions and you're ducking and dodging and bobbing and weaving and saying, no, I didn't do that. It can be something like that too. Next clarifier for the King of Wands is the Queen of Wands. So now we have the counterparts out here in the passion and desire end of things. This is Aries energy. This is, again, a bold, passionate, fiery, determined person that knows exactly what she wants. This usually for me doesn't necessarily represent the sign of a person as much as it does the qualities of the person. And this is someone who's probably very charming, very fun to be around, very attractive. This is the fire element queen. In other words, the hot queen. A lot of times she will represent the other woman, the person that there's all this passion and attraction and desire for, especially when I've got King of Wands here and I've already seen what looks like a choice here, potentially about two different people, and someone being very cold and calculated and maybe rationalizing things a little bit here. Could be defensiveness about, no, there is no hot queen. It could be that. Could be someone is wanting to fight to get what they want. That might be you wanting to fight to get what you want, in which case it looks like it might be your person. It's feeling like we got something else going on here, especially with what I'm seeing out here. And next clarifier for King of Wands is Seven of Pentacles, Taurus energy. This is a period of time going by. And it's either a period of time where there's this pause to reflect and take stock of this situation, take stock of this connection. It's about trying to decide, is this ever going to grow into the 10 of Pentacles that I really want? Maximum stability, abundance, prosperity, combining lives together, building a life together. Is this ever going to turn into that? Is this worth me continuing to invest my time, effort, and energy into it? Or is this a spot where maybe it's not going to pan out the way I want it to, and maybe it's time for me to cut my losses and move on? So this can represent that period of time where things like that are being contemplated between the two of you. Can also represent a period of time going by where seeds have already been planted on something. And kind of like if you plant an apple seed right now, you're not going to wake up in the morning with apples. It doesn't work that way. There's a big lag time from when you plant the seed on something until it fully grows and fully develops and blossoms and ripens, and then you can harvest it and get the reward out of it. So this can represent that lag time going by. Maybe this is telling me person's been defensive for a while and they've had this other person that they have attraction to for a while, and maybe they've been closing the door on that and saying, no, I'm not doing that, when there's the connection in the background there. Final clarifier for that King of Wands is the Two of Cups, again from the other deck. I'm using two decks and I've got it here in both decks now. So again, Cancer energy. This is a connection between the two of you, but more importantly than that, it is a choice about the connection, or a choice between you and this other person. It's what it's looking like to me. That's the shared energy that's affecting both of you. I will freely admit to you, this doesn't always make sense to me at the very beginning, although it's looking like I got a pretty decent handle on it. I'm hoping I'm screwing that up and this isn't what it's talking about. But I will come back to this shared energy as I go through your energy, Pisces, because then I'll be able to see how it applies to you. I'll come back to it again when I go through your person's energy, because then I can see how it applies to them. For you, Pisces, the first card is the most important. You got the Moon. Central for your energy is the Knight of Pentacles. And your final card is the Nine of Pentacles. The moon is Pisces energy. Oh, it's also on my cool moon t-shirt here. This is fear, worry, and anxiety, usually caused by uncertainty. If you think about when the moon's out, it's dark outside. You can't even see your own hand in front of your face most of the time, let alone be able to tell, am I on the right path or not? Was this even the right path for me to begin with or not? Did I make a wrong turn somewhere? Should I turn around and go back the other way? So just that level of uncertainty can cause fear, worry, and anxiety in a person. So you might have some uncertainty because this person's probably the one in control of everything and not you. You might have some uncertainty about whether this Queen of Wands person here, this hot, fiery queen, is actually in the picture, and maybe uncertainty about how long she's been in the picture, probably because they're ducking and dodging and deflecting that and probably trying to make it out like that's not what's happening. The other meaning to the moon is it can represent something being hidden in the dark or some secret being kept from you, something that you don't know about. It's also one of the most powerful intuition cards. So good possibility your intuition is telling you something, maybe something that you don't want to be true. Tell me about the moon, please. Why is that the first card for Pisces in its connection? Let's get one. Okay, we'll take two. Well, shit. Below the surface of the moon, Three of Pentacles, Capricorn energy. This is teamwork, collaboration, working together as equals to build something of value. This is laying the foundations for the 10 of Pentacles that we all want, that building a life together. This is laying the foundational work for that. This is supposed to be about where we're working on it together equally. There's some uncertainty related to that. Uncertainty related to the Four of Wands as well. It looks like Aries energy. Fours are stability. So this would be stability of the home life, stability of the family life, stability of the connection between the two of you. Oh man, this is looking like below the surface of what you think you've got here. But right behind that, I've got the Five of Wands, Leo energy. Again, fives are conflict. This would be a conflict in desires. In other words, it's an internal conflict where a piece of me wants this and another piece of me wants pretty much the opposite of that. And now I'm torn, I'm conflicted, I'm playing this internal game of tug of war inside myself in terms of what do I actually want. Now, I don't know if this is telling me that you're conflicted about whether or not this is equal give and take and actually stable, or if you're conflicted about whether or not we've got this other person involved. Maybe this is an internal conflict for you. Maybe this is a conflict between what you know and what you don't know right now, or what you want and what's hidden from you here. When I clarify the moon, again, I was hoping we were going to get us a good one, Pisces, but we get the Devil as your first clarifier, the Tower as the second, the Fool, and the Ace of Swords. So I'm clarifying a major arcana card in your first most important position, and the first three clarifiers are all major arcana. This is powerful energy affecting you. Hell, even the overall energy is a major arcana card. This Devil card is Capricorn's major arcana. This is a heavy toxic energy here. This is a heavy energy. This is usually obsession, addiction, feeling of being trapped by something, feeling like I can't escape from something, feeling like something else has control over me and I don't have any control over it. There are two energies of control in tarot, and I'm looking at both of them right now, the Emperor and the Devil. The Emperor is supposed to be about being in control, and the Devil is where something else has control. Now, sometimes this will represent an element of someone's shadow, like maybe a piece of your shadow where there's this part of you that was hurt previously, and instead of healing from that, maybe you just repressed it and pushed it down and pretended like everything's fine and just continued moving forward like there was no problem. Only there was a problem. There was a pain here. There was some wound that you had, and that wound was supposed to deliver a message to you. And when we repress that feeling, when we repress the pain, we're not getting the message. And it doesn't just go away. It turns into some sort of an unconscious driver where a lot of times we're not even aware that we're doing it, or Sometimes we're just flat ass in denial about doing it. A lot of times the devil will carry some denial with it. Now, this could also represent there's something toxic in this connection between the two of you that you don't actually know about yet. Could be either of those things, so take that part however it applies to you. Feels important to mention these are the same two people from the Lovers card, but here they have chains around their neck. They can't leave, or at least they think they can't leave. I'll get to that in a second. But you can see they've grown horns and tails because they've been in this toxic, distorted energy for so long. It's starting to distort them. It's starting to change pieces of who they are. I said these people can't leave because they have chains around their neck, and that's not actually the full truth of the card. The chains are just loops around their neck, and no different than my necklace here. I can take my head right out of the loop and leave this thing behind anytime I want to. And that's kind of part of the message of the devil, because the devil energy only has the power over us that we willingly give to it by refusing to face it and deal with it. So there's some element here it's looking like that maybe you don't know about. It might be below the surface of your conscious awareness. It may be still hidden from you at this point. But the next clarifier for the moon is the Tower. This is the foundation rocking event, the game-changing moment. This is the moment where some important structure in your life comes crashing down all around you, and nothing's the same after this moment. This is usually the collapse of the relationship itself, although it can also represent the collapse of a belief system that you have. In other words, this mental model of the world you're operating from, where I believed this was going to go one way, and now something has happened to catastrophically change that and maybe shatter that belief. So we got something toxic here going on, something coming to a pretty severe, swift ending. And then I get the Fool. This is the first card of the major arcana, card 0. It's the first card of the entire tarot deck. So it is legitimately a new beginning at something. It's usually a new beginning where I don't really know what's going to happen here. I don't know what the steps are. I don't know what the end result is going to be. And it's about just taking that blind leap of faith where it's like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to leap off this cliff and I'll worry about how to grow wings on my way down. Like I'll figure this out as I go along. So it looks like something coming to an end, and either this is a new beginning for you, but more than that, it's what it's feeling like is foolish behavior, foolish decision making, taking an unnecessary risk or a risk outside of the connection. That's tied directly to the catastrophic ending here, and probably some toxic driver going on and feeling pulled back to this King of Wands. A lot of times when I get King of Wands and the Devil in this early part of the spread like this, we might be dealing with somebody that has a problem with the wand energy here. In other words, their passion and desire and acting on that kind of gets in the way of some things. Probably not a healthy level of that. Now, you could call them a sex addict if you want to. I'm not going to go that far, but that's entirely possible. It could just be somebody who has some unhealthy attachment to their wand, or the passion desire end of things, or the ego, or feeling like puffed up because some lady told me I was good looking, or something along those lines, like getting too much jollies out of that. Looking like they probably took some foolish risk that they shouldn't have taken. And then we get the Ace of Swords. This is the sword of truth. It's the sword of clarity. It's the sword you use to make decisions with. It's also the sword you would use to cut away something that's not in balance, or to sever a connection with somebody. So it's looking like we have some sort of a decision to sever something here immediately after this new beginning takes off. Central for your energy, Pisces, is the Knight of Pentacles. This is the slowest moving knight in the deck. It's very slow, monotonous, like make you want to pull your hair out, because it's like I wanted this thing yesterday, and instead of getting that speed, I'm getting this slow molasses drip, like the snail's pace here. Now, it can also represent a person who knows what they're supposed to do but doesn't do it for some reason. Or they know what they're not supposed to do and they do it anyway. Now, typically, I could take that as your person here, probably doing stuff they know they're not supposed to do, probably keeping it secret. I could also take this the other way, and forgive me here, but this could be a case, especially central to your energy, where maybe you don't actually have facts here. Maybe you can just feel it. Maybe you intuitively know that something is way wrong here. This might be you knowing what you're supposed to do in terms of stepping into your own power, and you making some sort of a choice about this relationship, and not doing it from a place of my emotions getting in the way, but doing it from a place of cold hard facts, logic and reason, and what do I see right in front of me. Might be a case where you're not doing that, even though you know you should. Tell me more about this Knight of Pentacles, please. Why is that the central energy for Pisces? Thank you. I see. I think, unfortunately, I think that last bit that I said, that might be a case where you're not doing something that you know you're supposed to do, or you're doing something that maybe common sense is telling you you're not supposed to do. Below the surface of that, yeah, you can't make it up. There's your common sense. King of Swords. I just showed you that 3 cards deep in the overall energy. Logic, reason, truth, and facts of the matter, not emotions. This is saying throw your emotions out the window and look at the reality in front of you and make your decisions based on that. Yeah, below the surface of that, I have the Ace of Pentacles again. A new physical opportunity has presented itself, probably to your person. Again, this is not an idea. This is a physical thing that I can touch. And she seems like a physical thing that they can touch, and they're probably telling you, nuh-uh, I didn't do it, when it's probably been going on for a while. Yeah, right below the surface of that physical opportunity, I get the 5 of Swords. I'm seeing way too many 5s already. This is Aquarius energy. Again, 5s are conflict. This can be a conflict like a verbal conflict where we have this big fight and words get used like weapons, tongues get used like swords. We cut each other with our words, and maybe that big fight leads to a breakup. 5 of Swords is also abandonment, as in, not abandonment, excuse me. What's the word I'm looking for? Betrayal. That's the word. This is a betrayal many times. It can even be someone who has this winning at all cost mentality. In other words, like getting what I want is so important to me that I don't care what happens to anybody else. Collateral damage is fine to me. If you happen to get hurt, well, that's your problem, because I'm taking care of myself and I'm getting what I want by hook or by crook. It doesn't matter. When I clarify this Knight of Pentacles, I get the Wheel of Fortune, the Star, and the 4 of Pentacles. So that's what I was saying. Like, this feels a little bit like maybe you know what you're supposed to do and you're not doing it. I get this Wheel of Fortune in terms of zodiac signs. This is the 4 fixed signs: Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio. This represents a change in the luck and fortune. So when things are going great and this card comes out, this is usually the pivotal moment where things took the left turn unexpectedly into the telephone pole and everything went sideways. This can also represent a change in the luck and fortune in terms of if things are already going bad. This can indicate that you want to correct course, that you want to turn the wheel the other way and see if we can't put this back on the right track and straighten it all back out and maybe go for another lap. It can also represent a repeating cycle of something happening again. Maybe a repeating cycle of them doing things they know they're not supposed to do. Maybe a repeating cycle of you waiting on this very slow progress that seems like nothing's even happening. Maybe a repeating cycle of you not doing things that you know you are supposed to do. It seems incredibly important that it's sitting right beside the Devil. I call this the karmic hamster wheel. This is a situation where you were supposed to learn some sort of a lesson by going through the pain. And instead of doing that, you suppress the pain. You don't learn the lesson from it. It doesn't get to deliver its message to you. So then you go for another lap. And this is one of those spots where it's like the hamster running on the hamster wheel. It can run its little ass off and it's never going to get anywhere, because that's not what hamster wheels do. This doesn't let you move forward. This is a case of going around in circles until I finally learn the lesson. Next, I get the Star. This is the Aquarius Major Arcana card. This is a card of hope. It's a card of healing. So I've got this idea here that maybe you're not listening to your logic and reason and looking at the truth and the facts here. Maybe you're doing something, waiting on something to happen, waiting on this to get corrected, waiting on this to heal, having the hope that we can heal this. But the hope is tied to the repeating cycle here, repeating cycle of hope. That's not a good sign. This is also the card that comes immediately after the Tower in the sequence of the major arcana. So you don't make it to the star energy without the collapse of the Tower happening first. And lo and behold, the Tower is sitting right beside it here. So I've got the Devil and the Wheel of Fortune, the karmic hamster wheel. I've got progress happening here in the story where everything came crashing down. This is the collapse of the old, and this is supposed to be the hope for the new, not the hope that we get to do a repeat of this. Final clarifier for the Knight of Pentacles is the Four of Pentacles. This is Capricorn energy of holding on tightly to something and not wanting to let go of it. So I've got this hope that I'm holding on to. I keep going in the same loop with this person. What I want to hold on to is this idea of being able to take the blind leap of faith and potentially just trust them, even though the facts that they've given me lead me to not be able to trust. I've got what could be a secret as your very first card here, tied directly to the Devil and the Tower. The one card, like I read this in columns, but then I connect it in rows as I go. The one card that has nothing to go with it in the row is the Sword of Truth, the Sword of Clarity. It's the sword the King of Swords uses. That represents the logical, rational mind. An opportunity for a new thought, an opportunity for a new fact. Final card for you, Pisces, is the Nine of Pentacles. This is Virgo energy. This is a step backwards from the Ten of Pentacles that we've referenced a couple of times, where we've combined our lives together. This is a step back. This is singles energy. This is being physically single, physically by myself. Doesn't necessarily mean that you want to be physically single. It usually just represents that you are. Now, from the other perspective, this could represent some of your person's energy, because when I get this card, it's not always a case that the person is single. Many times I'll get this card when someone's not single, but they try to present themselves in the physical world as if they're single. Tell me about this Nine of Pentacles, please. Why is that final card here for Pisces, please? Okay, we're taking an extra one. No big deal. Below the surface of that Nine of Pentacles, Four of Wands. Aries energy, again, stability of the home, stability of the family, stability of the connection between the two of you. Very hard to have stability if you're physically single, physically by yourself, or likewise, if they're presenting themselves as if they are single when they clearly aren't. This is a marriage card. This is a celebration of the home and the family. This is often an indicator that we either live together or we're like fully committed in a connection. Yeah, and right behind that energy is the Six of Swords. This is Aquarius energy of moving forward into calmer waters. It's about leaving the rough, choppy waters of the past behind and moving forward into the future. At its core, this card is about moving away from something painful that's already happened. We already saw the Five of Swords. That's the card that comes before this. And at this stage, that painful thing has already happened. There's no way to change that now. Your real power, your real control is in what do I do moving forward from here? Do I carry the burden that that painful thing has caused me into my future with me so it keeps weighing me down and holding me back? Or do I carry forward the lesson I learned by going through that painful thing so something like that doesn't happen to me again? This is looking like a moving away from the stability here in order to be single. Possibly whether you wanted to or not, because it looks like the Emperor here is your person and they're probably the one dictating policy here. Yeah, before I had this Four of Wands and the Three of Pentacles together. Well, now I've got this moving away from it in between those two cards here. When I clarify the Nine of Pentacles, I get the Eight of Swords, the Knight of Cups, Six of Cups, Two of Pentacles. Eight of Swords is Gemini energy. This is being stuck in my head, grinding on something over and over again on this repeating loop in my mind, and feeling stuck, trapped, and blocked because I'm not sure what to do. And I don't want to make a mistake here. You can see the person on the card is blindfolded. They don't have all the information. This very first card for you is super important because you don't have all of the information. Something is being kept from you here. This is about being stuck and trapped and blocked because I don't have all the information. I've got these open loops in my mind. I've got these blanks that need filled in. And this is about thinking it through over and over again, trying to fill in the blanks with something that makes sense, with something that logically allows me to rationalize this connection and maintain my control by rationalizing what's happening instead of looking at the truth of what's happening. When I look at this top row, we've got the karmic hamster wheel here. Talk about being stuck in the loop, and then there's this grinding energy with that. That is obsessively grinding on something, obsessively overthinking something, obsessively being stuck by something here. And it's probably a case of where I feel like I'm stuck because of what I don't know. When in reality, you might want to take a look at what is it that you do know already. When I clarify this Nine of Pentacles, the next card is the Knight of Cups. Knights are action takers. Cups are about love and emotions. So this is actions toward love and emotions. Moving forward with romantic offers, romantic gestures, trying to advance a cup of love in some way. That's part of what you're feeling stuck and trapped and blocked by and grinding on is, can we move forward together? It's part of what your hope is attached to, the idea of moving forward together. But it's also in the same row with the Tower, which is leading me to believe that the reason this whole thing is falling apart right now is because your person is probably moving forward into their future away from your energy here. Even the way it's laid on the table, that Knight is going that direction away from where you are. Next clarifier for Nine of Pentacles is Six of Cups, Scorpio energy of the past. This is thinking about the past, reminiscing about the past, the good old days, the way things used to be between the two of you. This can represent something from the past coming back up again, something from the past happening again, or even someone from the past making some kind of a comeback here. I can see the idea here of holding on tightly and not wanting to let go of the past, of the way it used to be, of the history between the two of you. But I've also got something brand new showing up in that same row. Oh man, when I say that idea of could be a person from the past, that does not necessarily have to be someone that your person was with romantically before you, although it could be, and it could be that they're just taking a blind leap of faith with that. That person from the past would really just represent history between two people, like someone that I used to work with technically could be someone from my past. Hell, someone I went to elementary school with could be someone from my past. A friend of a friend that I met 3 years ago could be someone from my past. This would typically just mean that it's not a stranger, it's not a brand new person here. But there is definitely this element of previously moving forward romantically, history of that, and you wanting to hold on to the history of it and the way that it used to be. But then I get this Two of Pentacles, more Capricorn energy. Again, twos are choices. This is a choice between these two physical things, and I can't have both of them at the same time. I have to pick one, this one or that one. Do I want you, or do I want this hot queen? This is an energy of balance, but it's more about trying to maintain your balance once it's been thrown off, or get your balance back once you've lost it. This is a real 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of an energy where I'm not really certain what to do here, and I'm weighing the options. I'm looking at the pros and cons, asking questions like, do I or don't I? Can we or can't we get back what we used to have? in this bottom row, I have a gap in the center of it here. There's a hole in the information, and surrounding that hole is the truth. And this idea of either a choice between two things that I can't have both of. I guess the other meaning to this card I forgot to mention is this can represent someone juggling two people. And now I have to pick which one of them do I want, and I'm going to have to cut one of them away. This is looking to me like the truth is they're juggling two people, and in the center of it, there's no information for you because something is being hidden from you. There's something that you can't see that you probably don't know about yet. The only thing above this hole in the information is you wanting to hold on to it and not let go of it. Holding on to the hope that we can heal this. And I gotta say that hope is one of those tricky things where sometimes hope is the only thing that gets us through a really difficult spot, and we absolutely need hope in that spot. Sometimes hope is really the chain that's around your neck that's stopping you from leaving, not taking your head out of the loop of that hope, like the constant cycle of always hoping that something changes. This is like I said at the beginning, sometimes this is your person having all the power, and sometimes the Emperor is a call to you to step into your power and take your power back and stand in it for a minute. That's what this is feeling like. This is feeling like you're stuck in the loop here, and this is about you taking your power back for a minute. This idea of the loop of hope that you're holding on to, I think that's the piece that's keeping you stuck. And I think that might even be why there's a void in the information here. That might be one of the things you don't see yet. It might be one of the things that you're in a little bit of denial about, is that this is already, it's already a catastrophe. There is no saving something like this. What you're trying to hold on to in terms of the past and the way it used to be and the depth of this connection is probably less holding on to reality and more just holding on to like potential that I have in my mind about this. Take a look at your person's energy here, Pisces, and see what's going on with them, because this is probably where you're going to get the answers you're needing. Something to be uncovered, it looks like. First card for your person is the most important. We get 10 of Wands. Central for your person, we actually got two this time. We got the 7 of Wands and Temperance. And your final card for your person is the Sun. We got all fire energy. I got an extra card. All 4 of them are fire. I've got a fire energy here. The pinnacle of the fire suit is the shared energy, and a fire major arcana card as the overall energy. Fire represents passion and desire, and even the first 2 clarifiers in the shared energy are fire energy. One of them being the hot queen that I have all the passion and desire for. 10 of Wands is Sagittarius energy. This is a heavy burden that's being carried. It's something that's weighing them down. It's holding them back. Now, it's a 10, and 10s are completion energies. So this is supposed to be the completion of the burden. In other words, getting to the spot where they lay the burden down and they move forward without it. People don't always do it that way, though, even though we should. I guess I could, based on what I felt when I was reading this, this might be a call for you to finally lay the burden down and stop looking for how can I hold on to it and make sure I can keep carrying it into my future, when what you probably need to do is sever it and cut it away. Tell me about the 10 of Wands, please. Why is that the first card for Pisces person? Well, I don't like them already, Pisces. I'm trying to keep my opinion to myself, but they're going to make that a little difficult, I think. Below the surface of this heavy burden, they're carrying 4 of Wands. So that means they're burdened by the Aries energy of stability of home, family, and connection. That's not supposed to be a burden. That's supposed to be part of the goal of life, but for them, it's a burden. Yeah, 6 of Swords right behind it. Moving forward, leaving something in the past, moving away from that, and moving into the future. Again, part of the implication of this card is, do I carry the burden that this painful thing has caused forward into my future with me, so it keeps weighing me down and holding me back? Or do I lay the burden down and carry forward the lesson I learned so that something like this doesn't happen again? They're moving away from what they're viewing as the burden, which is the stability of the connection here, or the home life, the family life. When I clarify Ten of Wands, Knight of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, and the Hermit. Knight of Wands, again, action taker. Wands are passion and desire, so this is rapid, passionate action, moving forward, taking passionate action on something very, very fast. This oftentimes gets referred to as the player of the tarot deck. This can be that dude who rushes in all passionately and tells you everything you want to hear in order to get what he wants. But then he rushes out all passionately somewhere else and runs that same game there, and then can come bebopping back and forth between the two of you, playing both people. I do have a card out here right at the end of your energy about juggling more than one person. I've got that other person right here in the shared energy and them being defensive about it. And even a period of time is attached to that other person. A period of time is attached to this idea of a choice about this connection, or even a choice between two different people here. At the minimum, this is a non-committal energy. It's someone who starts out really gung-ho and driven and motivated at first, but they almost always change their mind and go a whole different direction. And they might flip-flop back and forth several times, which could be why I've got this karmic hamster wheel out here. Even in this top row, now I've got the Devil with the Knight of Wands. And I already told you at the beginning, the Devil, when I've got the King of Wands out here, that's not a good sign. To me, this is an even worse sign. This is much more in line with somebody who has a problem with the wand. When that thing stands up and points at something, they got to go rushing forward to see what it's pointing at and do something about it. Next, we get the Nine of Pentacles, which was your final card that we just clarified a minute ago, Virgo energy. This is single energy. This is somebody, again, who doesn't feel single at the beginning. If they're single, why do we got this stability here? That doesn't make any sense. If they're single, why do we have a choice about this connection? Why do we have a choice about this connection that they're in control of? This is not someone who's single. It's someone who's acting that way, presenting themselves like they're single. Yeah, even in this row, I've got the actions toward love and emotions tied to that card, actions toward passion and desire tied to that card, and the Tower is in that row. Final clarifier for that Ten of Wands for your person, Pisces, is the Hermit. This is the Virgo Major Arcana card. This is a card of withdrawal, isolation. Usually this is communication shutting down and they're not talking anymore. I get this card a lot when someone will ghost you and they just abruptly run out the door and go the other direction. I get this card a lot when they don't give you closure. They're not really telling you everything and you don't have any closure. It's sitting right across the aisle from the past and reminiscing and the way it used to be, and this idea of wanting to hold on to the past. And at the same time, there's this new beginning here, an unnecessary risk outside of the connection that they're probably not talking about. That Knight of Wands is very fast energy. This is looking like a spot where maybe you got ghosted. At the minimum, you don't know everything yet, and you don't have closure on this yet. Central for your person's energy, Pisces, Seven of Wands and Temperance. Again, both fire energies, both passion, desire energies, Seven of Wands. We've got that here as the first clarifier in the shared energy. Defensiveness, defending their position, their stance, defending what they want, what they believe in, maybe even defending against accusations of this other queen being involved. Temperance right along with that. This is Sagittarius Major Arcana energy. This is sometimes patience. This is sometimes the combining together of these two things to create something new. Oh man, this is a recalibration energy. When I get this energy, it's usually a pretty good sign that something is very dramatically out of whack and it needs readjusted. It needs recalibrated and rebalanced out here. Tell me more about Seven of Wands and Temperance. Why is that central energy for Pisces person, please? Come here. I was hoping I would get you a positive reading to start this off today, but it doesn't seem like it's coming out that way. I do gotta say, it's not really my job to twist the meanings of the cards and try and force fit this to be something positive when it's not. I'm not in the business of sugarcoating dog turds and convincing people they're candy bars when that's not the case. It's my job to get you the truth and the facts and the clarity so you can make your own decisions that are in your own best interest here. Below the surface of the Seven of Wands and Temperance, I get the Nine of Swords. This is Gemini energy of fear, worry, and anxiety. This is thinking about something a lot. It's a step worse than this Eight of Swords that's out here in your energy, because this is not just thinking about it on the repeating loop, but it's doing that with all this fear and worry behind how they're thinking about it, and doing that to the point that it's stressful. It's looking like they might be trying to be patient about something and defend something. Maybe it's taking some time. I got that Knight of Pentacles on your side. I'm getting ahead of myself, but Knight of Pentacles is out here in the clarifiers, and it's literally their center card in the whole spread. I get this card a lot when somebody's already done some stupid shit they shouldn't have done, and now they're fearful and worried that that's going to come out. And they're probably defensive about it here. Yeah, I mean, you see right here, they're defending the hot queen, trying to block you from being able to see her, I would imagine. Even the person on the card has their hands covering their eyes. Like, I don't want to see something. I think they're worried because they already did it. Knight of Swords. This is the fastest knight in the deck. This is rushing forward and taking this decisive action on something that I haven't thought through first. I'm just doing it. This is very spur of the moment, spontaneous, impulsive, reckless decision making. I've got the Fool out here already. Leap of faith on some brand new thing. A lot of times this is where I ran off and did something and I didn't think about it first, and now it's too late to do anything about it. Hence me being fearful and worried it's going to come out. Knight of Swords, or excuse me, King of Swords again. That's 3 cards deep in the overall energy. I saw it once on your side. It's the truth and the facts and the logic and the reason and the common sense. But this is the very logical, rational decision maker. This is probably someone who ran off and did some shit they weren't supposed to do, and now they're trying to rationalize it away. When I clarify this Seven of Wands and Temperance, I get the Four of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, and Death. Four of Swords is Libra energy. I'm looking at the Emperor, it's Aries energy. This is Libra energy. This is about taking a pause, taking a rest, taking a break. This is sometimes about, like, let me go inside myself and do some thinking so I can figure something out. I get this card a lot when somebody's already shown me the Eight of Swords or the Nine of Swords, and I've got both of them out here right now, both looking at me. This is half of that kind of an energy. And again, fours are stability. So this would be stability of the mind, stabilizing my thoughts, stabilizing my mind, trying to calm my mind down, trying to go from this wild, all over the place mental noise and fear, worry, and anxiety to, like, shh, just relax, try and be patient. Things are out of whack right now. Let me take a break here and figure this out. Next, I get this Knight of Pentacles, slowest moving knight in the deck. Very slow progress on something. From your point of view, it feels like nothing's moving. It is moving. It's just not moving in your direction. It's moving in the opposite direction here. Again, this can represent a person. Like, he has the seed of abundance in his hand, but the fields are empty in the background. He knows he's got the seed, and he knows he's supposed to plant it. He's just not doing it for some reason. So it can be that person who knows what they're supposed to do and they don't, or even the person who knows they're not supposed to just sit here on their ass, but that's what they're doing anyway. So it can be that person who knows I'm not supposed to act single when I'm not, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm running back and forth between two people here, and that is burdensome. Then I get death. Scorpio's major arcana card. This is an ending. This is something dying. And after this ending, there's this painful transition period. A painful transformation period takes place. It's just slow moving here. Getting to the ending seems like it's taken forever. Maybe even finding out whether it is actually over or not from their point of view might be taken forever. They may not be giving you closure here. There's definitely an ending here, and this is probably you not having the closure on it. Final card for your person, Pisces, is the Sun. This is the Leo major arcana card. This has got two meanings. First meaning is this is the happiest card in the deck. It represents happiness, joy, bliss, harmony. It's really hard to get a better card than the Sun in a love reading when that's what it's talking about. Forgive me, but this doesn't seem like a happy scenario here. So I'm going with meaning two, and meaning two is it's the card that comes immediately after the moon in the sequence of the cards. And when the moon's out, it's dark, something is being hidden from you, some secret is being kept. Well, the next step is the sun comes up, and now it's not dark anymore. And that thing that was being hidden gets exposed, it gets illuminated, it gets the light shined on it, and now I can see it for what it is. Tell me about the sun. Why is that the final card here for Pisces person, please? Below the surface of the sun, Four of Wands again. Stability of the home, the family, the connection. So there is an element of happiness tied to that. Yes, but behind it, we got that King of Wands again, which again is the shared energy affecting you both. The passion, desire end of things here. This is someone who knows what they want. They go after it. They don't take no for an answer. I've seen King of Swords a few times. That's the guy who thinks, makes his decisions with his mind, with his head. And this is the guy who makes his decisions with his little head, if you know what I mean. Not the one that's sitting on his shoulders. And then I get another marriage card here. We got the Four of Wands and now the Hierophant with that. This is Taurus energy of commitment, being fully committed. In a relationship reading, sometimes this is marriage. If it's not legally married, it's being fully committed to the connection. I've got two cards that would be considered marriage cards, and right in the middle of that marriage is the Passion and Desire King. The one who's very driven and motivated, but driven and motivated by passion and desire. When I clarify this Sun card, I get the Nine of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. Nine of Wands is Sagittarius energy. This is a defensive energy. There's two defensive energies in the deck. I've got them both right here. Nine of Wands, Seven of Wands, and the other Seven of Wands is central in your person's energy. A lot of defensiveness coming off of them. This is also sometimes an energy of someone who's trying to heal or trying to prevent from being hurt, hence the walls that they put up, the barriers, like the Emperor puts the barriers in place. I think this is your person trying to wall things off from you. There's this idea of maybe being on a break here, but a barrier in the way. And in that same kind of an energy as them running back and forth between two people. They could be telling you what you want to hear in terms of this is just a break and we're eventually gonna like recombine back together. But what's getting illuminated is the barrier, the thing that's in the way. The thing that's in the way is this Ace of Wands. This is the new beginning in passion and desire. Passionate new beginning. I've got King of Wands twice, I've got Nine of Wands, and I've got Queen of Wands out here. And defensiveness about her, a period of time going by related to her, and a choice about this connection, and probably a choice between you and her. Even the choice between these two physical things I can't have both of. The choice is getting made, and it's probably not getting made by you, it's getting made by them. And I think they're following their wand. This is the phallic symbol of the deck. So it represents the male you-know-what and using it to do you-know-what. And it's the barrier that's in the way. It's also right beside the person who knows what they're supposed to do and doesn't. or knows what they're not supposed to do and does it anyway. It's right here in the same row with acting single when I'm not single. And then I get King of Pentacles. Again, another card that can indicate marriage. This is Taurus energy. A lot of times this is like husband material energy. It doesn't necessarily mean you are legally married to the person or they're legally a husband, although it can mean that. The King and the Queen of Pentacles build the Ten of Pentacles. We've referenced it a few times, but we don't have it out here anywhere, and I don't recall seeing it in the underlying energy anywhere, the combining together of lives. King and Queen of Pentacles build that Ten of Pentacles combined together life. I don't have the Queen out here anywhere. I don't have the 10 out here anywhere. I just got what could be husband energy. But again, that's tied to the wand and the passionate new beginning. It's also tied to death and this idea of you not having closure and them ghosting you. So this... not what I wanted to come out for you. I don't get to pick the messages. I just receive them and relay them to you. And this seems to be a case of where this is the spot where you're supposed to be stepping into your power and taking your power back, which means probably asking some different questions than you've been asking. This whole central column looks like wanting to go for another lap and holding on to the hope that we can heal this and holding on to the past and not sure what's going on here, not having the answers from them. This is really looking like a spot where you're looking outside of yourself to the external person and asking questions about them. What are they going to do? Are they going to come back? And this isn't about them anymore. This is about you stepping into your power. What I do here is to get you the insight and the clarity that you need to be able to make your own decisions that are in your best interest for your greatest good. And this is time for it to stop being about what are they going to do. And it's time to start looking at the information that you have available to you now and what are you going to do with that.